If you are watching this video, chances are good that you're taking an acids and bases quiz and you've come across some questions that ask about the pH scale and the numbers on it. So I'm not going to get into the math of actually how many particles are involved here, but I'm just going to talk about what happens as you slide along this scale to the left and the right. So one thing I do have to do as an explanation is I have to talk about water molecules. So imagine a big glass full of water molecules, and what can happen from time to time is a hydrogen atom can come off of one water molecule and go off and join another water molecule. So instead of H2O, you wind up with something called H3O, and this thing is called a hydronium ion. And honestly speaking, what I often do is I kind of ignore the hydronium ion and I just kind of think about this hydrogen coming off, and it's this little hydrogen, positive hydrogen ion. So if this hydrogen ion leaves this water molecule, what does that leave behind? That leaves the original oxygen atom and this hydrogen atom. These guys together are called a hydroxide ion. And this is, it has a -1 charge, while this thing has a +1 charge. So the more of these things you have, the more acidic your solution, and the more of these things you have, the more basic your solution. So getting back to the reason why I made this video, let's say that the numbers of these two things are equal. If they equal each other, then the solution is neutral. You've got just as many of these as you do of these. Okay? But what happens if we slide from 7 down to 6? So if we go from a pH of 7 to a pH of 6, that means our solution is more acidic. Lower numbers are more acidic, and higher numbers are more basic. So how much more acidic is a 6 than a 7? Well, something with a pH of 6 has 10 times as many of the H3Os than something with a pH of 7. Having said that, then if something has 10 times more H3Os, then that also means that something with a pH of 6 has 10 times fewer of these hydroxides than something with the pH of 7. So every time you slide a step left or right, that's a difference of 10 times. Okay? So let me do another one. Let's say I have something with a pH of 8, and I adjust the solution so now it has a pH of 10. So if I've gone from a pH of 8 to a pH of 10, then that means I've got fewer of these things and more of these things, because this solution is more basic. So if you have a pH of 10, this is 2 steps apart. So if each step is 10 times, that means something with a pH of 10 has 100 times fewer of the H3Os than OH minuses. And another sentence that describes the same thing would be something with a pH of 10 has 100 times more of the hydroxides than the hydroniums. Okay? So I wanted to finish this up in less than 5 minutes. I just wanted this to be a quick intro to sliding around on the pH scale. But before I go, I will say that just imagine what happens once you start getting out into these small numbers or these big numbers. If you're jumping, say, from a 7 down to a 1, 2, 3 steps down to a 4, now we're talking about 1,000 times more of these hydroniums, and that, as you take successive further and further steps, the acids start to get really, really strong and much more dangerous. So I hope this helps you get some questions right on that particular quiz.